Welcome to day 4 of the Balance Box mini-series. I love the results of this DIY, however, this one took the longest because I just didn't know how to do this. So I had this idea. I feel like it's kind of a fail because of how time consuming it was because I didn't know the best way to execute this DIY. So today we're making our own curated lip glosses. You'll get to see the results, the challenges, and you get to see how I would do better next time. I actually really love doing these DIYs. I love DIYs. It's so much fun and creative. Here we go. I don't care where these bottles come from. Make sure you clean them by soaking them in hot soapy water, or for them to be sprayed thoroughly with the ideal 70% alcohol, 30% distilled water, because that is the exact ratio that effectively disinfects all surfaces. The very first lesson I learned immediately was do not dispense the lip gloss from an opening that is the same size as the opening the lip gloss is going into for a container, because as you can see, it immediately clogs the top and overflows. And as you can see, I even attempted using the funnel, but the challenge is the viscosity of this lip gloss did not allow for it to go from such a wide opening at the top to such a narrow dispenser neck at the bottom. It kept clogging, so after struggling, I eventually just had to transfer it from the funnel to the bottle with a stir stick, which created its own set of challenges because the lip gloss kept sticking to the stirrer. So I cut the bag to ensure that the lip gloss was dispensing from an opening narrower than the opening of the bottle it was going into. I used whatever type of tool I could find in order to push the lip gloss down into the bottle. The challenge is, because wood is a porous material, it actually made the lip gloss stick to it a lot. The other challenge is the stirrer that you see here has 4 sides, making it even more difficult to remove the lip gloss from the stirrer. So instead, when it came time to mix all the ingredients in the bottle together, I used a skewer. Well, that was an even worse idea, because as you can see, it has all sides, or no sides depending on how you look at it. So it was even more difficult to remove product off of. So then I resorted to using my knife end of my dual-sided tool from my nail kit, because it's metal, which is non-porous. It definitely worked better. What I figured out is that I needed something that was narrow enough to fit in the bottle that was also non-porous. I've come to the conclusion that the best tool to use is probably a cosmetic silicone spatula, the small ones that I used for narrow bottles. The applicator ends are flexible enough to maneuver in and out of small openings of containers. The center is filled with a metal rod, which makes it sturdy enough to stir product with, and the silicone is non-porous, meaning it won't absorb any product or make it stick to it. It's also only double-sided, which makes it a lot easier to scrape any remaining cosmetics off of, because if you end up using a metal knife like I am in this, you're basically cleaning a smooth edge with a sharper edge. And the only reason I don't have mine right now is because they're packed away in a box somewhere in our storage, also known as the abyss. Reducing my carbon footprint has always been a motivator for me, regardless of how small the action I'm taking is, which is why I decided to use this blusher palette. Unfortunately, it came with a major downside. Having to crush and break up a packed palette does not really work well when you're attempting to mix pigment into a liquid. It ended up creating dried clumps dispersed throughout the entirety of the lip gloss, creating an uneven and majorly undesirable application. So if you can't use a mortar and pestle or be able to crush it up to complete powder, I suggest using a soft, fine, loose pigment that's already in a container over a packed palette.
No, don't lick it.
Oh my gosh, Kit.
Don't mix.
After attempting literally every other option out there, in order to get this high viscosity lip gloss thoroughly packed down into the tube, leaving absolutely no spaces or air bubbles whatsoever, was using the easiest technique with the most impactful result, which is what you see me doing right here. Just shaking and smacking the bottle on the floor, having gravity do its magic. Keep paper towel, cleaning spray, and or wipes nearby to prevent any debris or hair getting into your lip gloss, your cosmetic tubes, and messing up your makeup. That is nasty. It also protects you or other things from getting sticky and it being a bigger mess later on, saving you a lot more time later on when it's cleanup time.
Come on.
Adding food safe scents to your lip gloss, to me, it's the only option. I would even choose it over adding pigment. The scents are delicious and feel fancy. I have absolutely no regrets.
I found the best lip.
I can't tell you how many times I kept putting the opening of the dispenser too close to the opening of the bottle. So what kept happening? The lip gloss kept getting too heavy at the top and kept overflowing. The moment I hovered the dispenser up above the bottle and allowed gravity to pull the lip gloss down is the exact moment the lip gloss smoothly and cleanly flowed into the bottle. One of the biggest mistakes I was making when I first started with these lip glosses was putting too much of the same product into the container at once. I put way too much powder at the bottom, following it up with the gloss. What ended up happening was lots of clumps, bumps, gaps, and bubbles, leaving an inconsistent mess inside of the bottle. It was so time consuming because of all the mixing I ended up having to do, and it took a very long time to create a smooth consistency. You're better off starting with a little bit of lip gloss, not pigment, because you don't want that stuck in the crevices at the bottom, then layering the pigment on top of a little bit of lip gloss and alternating back and forth like a pattern between the two. That way, when you go to mix it, it'll be a lot easier to have a smooth, consistent color throughout the entire lip gloss, leading overall to a much better application.
Okay, that's done. Where's that ball thing you took? No, you cannot take it. It's Mama's. I made an effing mess all over the place. Give me a wipe.